Hey guys, and welcome back to some more online racing on Assetto Corsa. Today starting off with some GT3 at Spa for a 15-lap race, choosing the heaviest car in existence, the Nissan GT-R GT3, because of course I did. But anyway, the lights are about to go out, 4 lights, 5 lights, starting in P5, and off we go. Pretty bad start, just couldn't get it down off the line, as we now approach La Source, dropping back to P7. On the approach to La Source, now braking hard into the first corner, trying to play it cautiously, going down the inside, almost side by side with the Mercedes in front now as we go down the hill towards Eau Rouge, getting closer and closer to the Mercedes in front, trying to get alongside there as we hug the wall on the inside and continue the hill downwards towards Eau Rouge, trying to keep it careful up the long left-hander. Trying to keep it nice up there, but we go wide over Radio and get a 10-second penalty. We're going to have to serve that down the Camel Straight, so I pull over to the right-hand side of the track, trying to serve that while everyone flies by on the left. Losing place after place now. This has not been the best start to this race, and we've still got 2 seconds left to go of our penalty. And off we go towards Le Com, and I'm glad I did have that penalty, seeing what happens to that poor guy in front. Now coming through Le Com, trying to get back to the rest of the pack. Shouldn't be too hard with everyone so close together on this opening lap. As we now skip ahead to coming out of Pouhon and towards the next couple of corners. And we can see there's a crash on the inside there. Audi on the runoff on the inside of the apex there. As we now come round this left-hander and a spinning Hurricane right on the runoff there. That could have ended a lot worse. Now coming through Stavolo, turn 15. Up to P6 somehow after all that chaos at the start. Now coming into turn 16 for the almost flat out right-hander, but not quite for the guy in front, going onto the grass on the inside there, as we get closer and closer to the Mercedes in front, trying to get into the slipstream on the approach to Blanchimont, seeing if we can make a move, getting closer and closer right on their back wing now, as we come through the long left-hander of Blanchimont, as they go wide over the curbs there, seeing if we can make a move into the bus stop chicane, going down the inside, braking hard, braking late, trying to make a move. Maybe a bit too late, just about keeping it onto the track and hugging up to the apex and just about getting that position done. Coming back onto the pit straight to start lap 2, almost hitting the stationary Ferrari there as the poor guy behind us, coming towards La Source, and now skipping ahead to coming down the Camel Straight towards Le Com, braking nice and easy into there, not taking any risks. Unlike the guys in front, with absolutely everyone in existence taking each other out, somehow putting me into P2 as we exit Le Com and chase the leader to make up that final position. As we now come through Pouhon turn 12, as the race leader goes about 5 miles wide through there. Not sure what happened to him as we come towards turn 13, getting closer and closer to the bumper of the Ferrari in front. Braking hard into the next corner, too hard, almost hitting the back there. I wish I could say that was intentional, but it wasn't. Trying to stay right there with the Scarlet Ferrari in front, the race leader. As we now come towards Stavolo, the short right-hander. Getting closer and closer right on the back bumper now as we come through here. Still right behind the race leader as we come towards turn 16. Getting it kind of wrong through there, not the greatest exit out of turn 16. But still right there with them, trying to get into the slipstream of the back of the Ferrari. Getting closer and closer and closer on the approach to Blanchimont. Trying to go down the inside there, not leaving me any space at all as we come towards Blanchimont. Trying to get a good exit through there as we now come back onto the start-finish straight. And this was a pretty odd occurrence, never seen this before. So the guy just disappears and I assumed he'd lagged out or something, which was a shame. As I come round La Source now and see he is right there in front of me. So once he crossed the line, he teleported back into the pits, so he was still on the same lap. And because his pit box was right on the pit exit, he just had to drive out and effectively just cut La Source. And I don't know if that's the most ridiculous or incredible thing I've ever seen, but I'm going to remember that for a while, because that's just amazing. Anyway, their lead wouldn't last very long, as we skip ahead 1 lap later to lap 4, coming into Le Com, going a bit wide, but not getting it as long as the guy in front, spinning out on the exit there, and putting me into the lead of the race. So by this point I was so far ahead of P2 and understandably a lot of people were leaving, so I come into the pits on lap 6 for some fuel, and of course I missed the pit box like an absolute idiot. And of course the guy in P2 leaves, so I just declare myself the winner because no way am I doing an extra 7 laps of this race, when the only other person running of the original 16 car grid was the stationary Ferrari on the pit straight. Anyway, coming on to race 2 now, and I originally wasn't gonna include this race simply because there was only 2 other people racing against me, so I was just gonna have this as a bit of fun, but my god, I'm happy I was recording because this turned out to be one of my favourite battles I think I've ever done, as 5 lights are a go and we begin at Mugello. As we get away well in these Mazda MX-5 Cups, about as well as the guy on the left, as we go up the hill towards the first corner. Bit of a better launch from the guy on the left, getting closer and closer to the purple Mazda to the left as we come towards the first corner, trying to make a move, going down the inside and braking hard, trying to make a move, but just not getting it right. As the guy behind now gets passed up the inside, dropping us down to P3. This has been a terrible start to the race. As we come into the second corner, trying to make a move up the inside, but just not possible. As we come through turn 3, trying to get a good exit, stay with the cars in front. As we now skip ahead, exiting turn 7, and there's contact in front with the race leader spinning and drifting out the race, almost hitting the back of the car in front now as we climb the hill towards turn 8. And that was the first instance to tell me that this guy wasn't what you call the cleanest of drivers, to say the least. As we come around at turn 12 now, trying to have a look to the inside, but just no space whatsoever. As we come around this long right-hander, trying to keep right there with the car in front. Now coming on to lap 2, coming through the first couple of corners, these couple of S-bends, still right there on their back bumper as we come out of turn 3. Still getting ever closer and closer to the back bumper of the car in front as we come towards turn 4. Trying to get into the slipstream, trying to make a move into turn 4, braking hard, braking late, but the guy in front cuts me off. No way I could have made a move there as we come out of turn 5, still right there behind them as we go towards turn 6. As we now skip ahead to coming out of turn 11, getting a much better exit than the car in front. Getting closer and closer, side by side on the right. As we come towards turn 12, trying to make a move as the guy turns right in on me and spins me out onto the grass. Luckily, that could have been a lot worse, but we get back onto the track swiftly and continue the charge. And now coming on to the third lap of the race, getting closer and closer once again in the slipstream. Diving down the inside, coming into turn 1, trying to make a move up the inside on the inside line. Trying to get around, but a terrible exit out of turn 1. The guy behind side by side into turn 2, and they cut me off into turn 2 as a matter of fact. No way I could have defended that as I try and keep right there behind them and close up that gap once again. As we now skip ahead to coming out of turn 11 once again, side by side towards turn 12. And let's hope he doesn't do the same thing as last time, diving down the inside on the inside line, trying to make the move, and I think this time we've got the move done on the exit of turn 12. And there we go, up to P1 we go on the end of lap 3. Anyway, not much happened after taking the lead of the race, apart from this, that is, on lap 4. Going over the hill, and you can see the guy in third place parked on the exit there. And he turns in on the guy behind there, trying to get him out the race. Probably only the slightest bit salty after that first lap incident. But that's of course got nothing to do with me. So we come on to lap 505 to win the race, and there we go, that's the end of that. Anyway, now coming on to the third and final race, Formula 4 cars at the Brands Hatch Indy circuit, that is. And if I had to describe this race, I'd say chaotic, to say the least. No one could drive in a straight line, and that's not being patronising because it includes me. As the lights are away and we get underway for this 7-lap race at Brands Hatch Indy. Coming towards the first corner now, Paddock Hill Bend. Pretty incident free so far, but as you'll see, that'll change shortly as we come down the hill towards the Druids hairpin. Trying to go down the inside into Druids, and everyone just crashes out straight away. Spinning car in the middle of the track takes out the guy to the left as we come out of Druids hairpin. Now coming down the hill towards Graham Hill Bend, and one guy going into the grass on entry there, and one guy going onto the grass on exit there. Not sure what happened, but up to P4 we go. As we now come towards Surtees corner, and of course this isn't the GP circuit, it's the Indy circuit, so we go straight back onto the main straight, resulting in some pretty quick lap times, only about 45 seconds long, and probably sub 30 seconds in a Formula 1 car. As we now skip ahead to coming out of Graham Hill Bend on lap 2, and P3 is spinning out the race there, almost coming back onto the racing line and taking us out as well, as we come back into Surtees corner and start the third lap of the race, going around this incredibly hard right-hander. Deceptively hard, in fact, as I'll prove later on in this race, as a guy goes spinning out of Paddock Hill Bend there. He was in P12, so it must have been a lap down. As we come into Druids, nice and easy through there, trying to keep the cars in front, into P3 somehow, starting in P9 as we come back into Graham Hill Bend. And coming on to lap 4 now, coming towards the first corner, but getting blocked off by P9 there. Must be a lap down as he came out the pit lane. Coming down the hill towards Druids hairpin, trying to make a move on P9. Should be showing blue flags realistically, but it's fun to have battles as well as we come around Druids and see if we can make a move. As we now come into Surtees, still chasing the car in front, as we lock up into the final corner, skidding over the grass like it's ice, and crashing right into the barriers. Luckily no damages on, and also luckily the guy in front spins, and even luckier than that, the guy in P2 spins, so putting us into P2 like the crash didn't even mean anything. And now coming through Paddock Hill Bend for the 7th and final time, the guy behind much quicker than I was, so I decided to just let him go through Druid's hairpin. Must have been one of the poor guys crashed out at the first lap, at this very spot as a matter of fact. Anyway, coming through Druid for the final time, it's nice to have at least one calm lap amidst all the chaos throughout this race. Coming through Graham Hill Bend now, and I hate to be that guy, but the track limits at Brands Hatch are pretty crazy. I mean, you can go completely off the track and it still counts as a lap. But anyway, coming through Surtees and now coming to the final corner. Nice and easy through here, don't want to make any mistakes where it matters most. As we come back onto the main straight to finish the 7th lap of the race and finish in P2. Not too bad as we cross the line to round off one of the most chaotic and crazy races I think I've ever done. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to subscribe, comment, share, and I'll be back in the next video. See ya!